Well, I want to talk about party over here, party over there. Poisonous politics. Yep, that's what we want to talk about. This is my take, so don't hate, okay? Certainly appreciate you joining us once again, and we're just grateful to God that things are as well as they are. And let me offer my apologies to all the party animals out there that got all excited and are already dressed in your party clothes, but it's not that kind of party. And it's nowhere near as much fun, but it is, I believe, much more important. So stay with me, please. I appreciate it so much. I want to talk about political parties and the poisonous politics that is destroying our democracy and our country. Just going to scratch the surface. But I believe that there are several things that are keeping America from being as great as we could be or as effective as we should be. And topping the list are systemic racism, gender biases, party and partisan politics, and the never-ending political infighting. Perhaps we don't realize the danger we're exposing ourselves to and what a threat to our national security is caused by this kind of behavior and these kinds of attitudes. We routinely talk about this being the greatest nation on earth, and I'm in agreement with that. However, we may be a great nation, but we are not a perfect nation. But we can be a great nation without being perfect. You remember the preamble to the Constitution says, "We the people," in order to form a more perfect union, which means we're not there yet. We are a nation that spends a great deal of time and personnel and resources policing other nations and demanding that they fix their race problems, their gender problems, and yet we have remained aggressively resistant to the same changes that we demand in others. Of course, there has been progress, but my position is this. If change is not sustained and preserved over an extended period of time and through various circumstances, it's not real progress. It's more like what I call temporary tolerance. And before you know it, we're in a well-organized and well-orchestrated backwards slide, finding ourselves very close to where we were before. And one of the primary culprits in keeping America divided, and one of the more damaging and damning effects on our country, is party over here and party over there. You know, there's a social distancing thing going on now. But there's also the political distancing, in which we find our political parties separated by a much greater distance than 6 feet apart. You know, and I'm not sure or how well the two-party system is working in America, but I know that it can work. And I suppose that it could work just as well as a one-party system or a three-party system. What we need is not a system of politics for the preservation and profit of the party. We need a system that supplies the needs of the people and upholds and sustains the idea of government for the people. I mean, after all, this is supposed to be a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. The government is for our benefit, for the benefit of the people, not for the benefit of one party exercising authority or power over the other party. You know, and we've attempted to, correct this problem by, coming up with a third party, fourth party, or whatever, but it has proven to be powerless over the existing traditional, long-standing two-party system. The people are now spectators to a game and a competition between parties. And unless we get the attention of our elected officials and our appointed officials and remind them of why and for whom they are holding their respective office or their respective position, we might as well go home and slam the door. But I choose to get involved, and I choose to work for change. Party differences and party bickering and hostilities between parties are producers of poisonous politics in America. We've been bitten by a poisonous snake that is slowly killing us as a nation. There was a time when politicians, some were sincere, but at least they pretended to be for the people. They at least tried to seem like they were in support of the people. But now they make no secret of their allegiance to their respective party. What is morally right, what is legally right, and what is absolutely and unequivocally right have all taken a back seat to party politics. We no longer measure by societal standards or what the law is. We now measure by who has the most votes and the best support in the House and the Senate. Or we might measure by how much money is on the table. And when we look at our political system, some tend to support and vote for their party, while others tend to support and vote for a particular person, irrespective of their party. There is more party loyalty than there is loyalty and commitment to the people. For the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, again, it's party over here and party over there, and never the twain shall meet. And that won't change. It will not change until and unless the people stand up and speak up and take back control of our political process. And forgive me for any generalization that I might use. And we really have to stop doing that, because it's never everybody all the time. It's never a case of all Democrats or all Republicans or all whites or all blacks. It's never a case of all men or all women. So it's not always everyone in the group. And it may not be necessarily representative of the group. Sometimes it's just who makes the most noise, who shouts the loudest, or who jumps the highest. Amen? So generalizations are not good. But, when you run with the pack and when you stick together like gang members, that's usually the way you will be seen and treated. It's almost as if it doesn't matter who the person is. It's which party it is. And as long as they are supported by their party, they feel that's good enough. And while some vote for a person and for issues and what the person represents, there are others who vote, as they say, along party lines. They vote for their party. Some fear the party because they perceive the party as having power over them. And we've seen some good examples of that recently. And they don't see the people as having power over them, although it is the people that have all the power. And some have learned that the hard way. I believe both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party leaves much to be desired. At least in my view, they do. Depending on your definition, both parties have their own brand of leftists, radicals, extremists, all that among them. The Republican Party was long known as the party of the rich and big business. And now, because they are aided by the so-called evangelicals and the religious right and the so-called conservative agenda, the Republican Party has come to be a party that's known as the party of the rich still, the party of the religious still, but now also the party of the radicals, the extremists, and the racists. It has become a hotbed for white supremacy, where people see white as being right and all others as wrong and don't belong. And then there are the ultra-religious groups, the ultra-conservative groups, the religious right that is quite often wrong, that are always trying to regulate our personal lives and trying to tell people how to live their lives, while many of them are living and struggling with their own demons. And all of us do. Not just them, but all of us do. And they are becoming some of the most prolific hypocrites known to man. The Republican Party has stood idly by while being infiltrated by every racist, sexist, and extremist group in America and beyond America, where each has seemingly found comfort and refuge in the Republican Party. And let the Republicans tell it, they've cornered the market on God and country. For them, they are the only true patriots. On the other hand, when you look at the Democratic Party, which has long been known as the party for the least and the lost, the party for the disadvantaged, but now has become the party of anything goes. While priding ourselves on liberal and progressive thinking and tolerance of all people and all things and all lifestyles, it's as if the Democratic Party no longer believes in morality, no longer believes in standards, no longer believes in restraint or boundaries. For us, everything has to be politically correct. You know what that means? It means hear no evil, see no evil, and if it's okay by you, it's all right by me. Amen. And although we do live by civil laws of the land, I believe we must find a place at the table for God and what God requires of humanity. Now, having said all that, it is unfair, it is counterproductive for us to continue down the path of demonizing each other and seeing ourselves as us and them, or me against you. Both should be parties for the people and not party for the party. One may say, protect the businesses first, and the other may say, protect the people first, but both are needed. Somewhere along the way, for the sake of our country, for the good of the people, liberal and conservative are going to have to come together and at least talk with one another and reach some common consensus on what's best for America, regardless of the party. We all need a self-examination and a reordering of our priorities. And you and I, as voters and citizens, we must demand that our elected and appointed officials and our party officials stop all the wrangling and cease with the hostilities and work together for the good of the people and for the good of our nation. Stop the name calling, stop the jockeying for political position, and stop treating our political parties as enemies of the state. And listen, stop using the people as nothing more than a springboard to political and financial gain, using us to get in office only to forget us once you're there. You know the story. And by the way, I believe that for one to masquerade as being of one party, only to gain our trust and our vote, to get elected and then jump to another party, I believe that is the ultimate insult to the people that elected them. And I say, throw the rascals out. Now that's my take. So what do you have to say? Sound off.